So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. How does anyone do it? How does anyone see a smallie and get aroused? Little innocent, helpless, naive ones. Those pure, sinless eyes. So trusting they are. Unsuspicious and unaware of the evil, decay and rot in the world they live in. How does anyone hurt someone like that? Do they think of the damage they cause them? The physical pains, the psychological trauma, the everlasting wreck. Do they know that they never fully recover? That it ruins them. It ruins their whole life. Their relationship with men, their relationship with everyone. Are they aware that some of them grow up hating themselves? Many of them eventually commit suicide. Do they really understand the extent of ruins it brings to these little ones? Do they ever ask themselves, if 3 minutes of pleasure is sufficient, does it justify ruining a life that they cannot create? Before we go into today's story, it's important I point out, please, this is a very sensitive topic, so be very mindful of the words you throw in the comment section. Learn to use slangs in the comment section, abbreviations, misspellings, local dialects, and whichever way you can conceal those words that you know are sensitive, so YouTube doesn't flag this video. Please do so, because if you start throwing those sensitive words, I will have no other option but to yank you off. Today's story is a reality that has been alive, a monster that has been ravaging for many centuries. It is a story worth sharing, worth talking about, worth learning from. It is a story of bestiality and perversion. It is a story of Prince Onyenwere, who allegedly ruined the life of a 10-year-old girl just in a bid to satisfy his sick, depraved, degenerated, and twisted sexual needs. Prince is a Nollywood costume designer. His Instagram page reads, Nollywood costume designer, props and sets, Nollywood actor, entrepreneur. And it says, contact me for your creative costume only. And true to it, his page showcases pictures of him and very notable Nollywood figures, people that he had worked with in the past. Notable stars such as Destiny Etiko, Chacha Ike, Van Vika, a whole lot of them. He is known in the industry, so he probably knew what he was doing. He was possibly skilled in his craft. He had good prospects of becoming one of the big names in Nollywood, both cast and crew. He had potential, but he would give up all of these prospects, ruining himself and dragging a little one along with him. A vile beast, Lucifer's right-hand man, a sick predator he is. So there Prince was on a movie set in Asaba last month. He was the costumier in charge of the filming location. This woman had brought in her 10-year-old smallie who was to play a role in the movie. The mother handed the girl over to the executive producer and the producer on the set. The name and identity of this child or this family will be kept away for obvious reasons. After a scene was shot and it was time to change outfits, Prince Onyenwere led this girl into a room to change for the next scene. Under normal circumstances, costume change should not take more than 5 minutes, should we say 10? But fast forward to over 30 minutes later, neither Prince the costumier nor the girl was out, and it was delaying the scene. And so the director sent somebody to go call him and tell him to hurry up, as the delay was costing them time and it was already getting late. And so that person went, and much to her surprise, the door to the changing room was locked. And then she heard the muffled cry of a little girl, almost as though somebody had his hand over her mouth as she was trying to cry out. The person called out Prince and asked, "Is everything okay in there?" And Prince answered in the affirmative that everything was fine. They were almost done. They'll soon be out in a jiffy. But the locked door and the muffled cries made that person very suspicious, and so she passed the message to the others on ground. When they came knocking and directed Prince to open the door, and he was delaying opening it, the door was forced down, and God, oh no, when they got into the room, there was blood everywhere. The whole floor soiled with blood, and the little girl was coiled up at a corner, crying her eyes out. When asked, the Smalley explained that when they got into the room, he told her to take off her clothes so she can change to the next one. And as soon as she took off her clothes, oh God, Prince pounced on her, pushed her to the ground, and aggressively, forcefully took her virtue from her. And I'm here with goosebumps all over me, wondering how the producer and the director and all the mommies and aunties on that set that saw that boy lead that little girl to a room alone allowed that adult male to change a little girl without anybody accompanying him, without any supervision, without any other person. All alone, you let a man who is not the father of a child go and see her nakedness alone in a room? Oh boy, my God, unbelievable. But let's get back into the story. So when it had dawned on everybody what had happened and what Prince had done to the innocent little girl, they pounced on him and began beating him. After he was beaten, he was handed over to the police. Now, if you think that you have heard the most infuriating and exasperating part of this story, well, maybe not. When Prince was arrested, he was detained in police custody, and some human rights activists online took up the matter and started seeing to it that justice is given. But before long, the child's mother expressed her desire to withdraw the case. She complained bitterly that they didn't have money. They came all the way from Lagos to Asaba just to help her daughter pursue her dreams. They do not reside in Asaba. And for every extra day she spent in Asaba, she was paying hotel bills, incurring a lot of bills and expenses, today medical check, tomorrow this payment, hospital payment, police payment, this payment, and she didn't have much. So her husband told her to just get out of there and come back home and drop the case. And it's safe to assume that that's what happened, because a few hours ago I checked the page of this Prince and he is back active and living on social media. This boy, this beast, this infidel is back on social media posting as normal. When we discussed Debbie's case, I do not want to repeat myself. I'm going to leave the link to that video down in the description box. But when we discussed Debbie's case, the lady that was brutalized, beaten black, blue and purple by a man she met on the road, when I gave you guys an update on that case, I explained extensively that no individual has the legal right to withdraw a criminal case, not to talk about one of this seriousness, this density. It is no individual's prerogative to withdraw a criminal case, because crimes are an offense against the government, against the state. It is not an offense against an individual only. It is only a civil case such as trespass, breach of contract, divorce proceedings and all of that can be withdrawn by an individual who instituted them. Criminal cases are under the purview, under the jurisdiction of the government. So tell me why in 2024 individuals are still given the liberty, the discretion to choose whether or not to pursue a criminal case, even with all this overwhelming evidence. Hurtful as this whole incident is, I wouldn't want us to leave without getting some very, very crucial lessons from this video. You see what just happened? It has been happening for centuries. unreported. Social media is just bringing it to the limelight, bringing it to view. It has been happening for a very long time. It has been happening. And trust me, it's not gender specific. It happens to both genders, little boys and little girls. If you doubt me, single out 10 of your male friends and ask them what their first sexual experience was like. They will tell you that it was either a house help, their elder sister's friend, this auntie, this older neighbor. Matured ladies preying on little boys. It has been happening for a long time. And tomorrow, if this guy was not caught and this child grows up, and maybe he becomes the A-lister Nollywood actor that you adore, and she comes out to tell her story of how she was violated when she was a little girl. Some of us will call her a liar, a prostitute. Why are you just talking now? You want to bring him down because he's successful? Runs girl. This is it. A lot of people living with scars and they cannot talk. Can it be stopped entirely? Maybe not, but can it be mitigated and brought to its barest minimum? Hell yes. So we need to protect our children, protect our nephews and nieces, protect these younger ones. Because you do not expect a good society when the people that make up the society are broken people, damaged people. So what do? First, sex education. These little ones need to know, and they need to know fast. Gone are the days when sex education was a forbidden topic. Once your child can talk, because even children as little as 4 are falling victims to these animals. Once a child can talk and can express him or herself, you start to teach the child. Tell them what it's called. Penis and vagina. There is no need to give it any nickname. When you start giving it fancy names, they begin to feel like there's something about that thing. There's something wrong with it. That is why mommy cannot call it its real name. And they will learn from the internet. They will learn from friends. They will learn from predators. Tell them at home. Tell them that it is not okay. Do not enter any room with the opposite sex. Do not enter any room alone with anybody. Sometimes it's even same sex. Where do we run to? But we need to teach them. We need to let them know their body parts that are sacred and should not be touched by anybody. We need to let them know that these people exist. You cannot hide it from them. You need to let them know that they are evil people that like to touch children, and you tell them how to protect themselves and not to be found in the same space with these beasts. I'm not trying to put any blame, but just imagine where this child's mother had told her, do not ever enter a room with any brother, with any uncle. Do not ever. If you want to change, if you need to do anything in the toilet and you see an uncle, run away. Tell an auntie, tell an adult there that they must follow you. There must be a big auntie there to supervise you. It may have saved the day. So we need to keep talking and we need to keep teaching them. And no age is too small. No gender is spared. Teach your boys, teach your girls. 2, we need to foster a close and warm relationship with our children. Gone are the days when daddy is coming home and everybody is panicking. If you're a dad that your children panic around, my dear, you're a failure. And if you're a mother that your child cannot talk to you in this 21st century, then you need to have your mental health checked. We need to create a conducive environment where our children can be free to discuss everything with us. Because many people watching me who have been scarred from repeated sexual assault as a child, it happened because they could not confide in their mother. They felt that their mother would beat them. If I tell mommy, mommy will not believe me. If I tell mommy, mommy would beat me. If I tell mommy, mommy would blame me. So they keep it to themselves until they become damaged. Are we going to let history repeat itself? You can be a parent that instills discipline and still be the friendliest parent. To my kids, I'm even the stricter parent, but I'm still that parent that would wear Mickey Mouse hats with them and jump on the bouncing castle, but they know not to misbehave. So you can still have control of your children and still befriend them in such a way that they can tell you anything. I know this particular video is one out of many where it happened instantly as though he was possessed. I do not know what he was thinking of, whether he was thinking that he was going to do this thing to this child and she would just wear her costume and continue acting as if normal, as if nothing happened. What was he thinking? But the truth is that many cases of child abuse, it starts little by little. Uncle will try to touch her. Uncle will try to kiss her. Then uncle will tell her, don't tell anybody. When he sees that she didn't tell anybody, he keeps going and going until the damage is done. Just imagine if you have created and fostered that close relationship. It's not just mommy's duty. Daddies, are you hearing me? The both parties. Because if that your child is damaged or ruined, you would be the one to look at her bleeding in the hospital and cry too as a father. So don't say it is my wife's duty. It is both of you. Mommy should talk, daddy should talk. Because the world is an evil place. A lot of things, unbelievable things. Aru, in Igbo language is called Aru. Abominations are happening. So let these children know that they can tell you anything. There are no forbidden topics. And they will test your skills, your listening skills, your confidentiality skills. When they say that they tell you a little error or a little thing that seems out of place and you blow it out of proportion and you blame them, when these serious things happen, they would conceal it from you. So bite and blow. Bite and blow. 3. Vigilance. Vigilance. You have to be a hawk. And when I say hawk, no one is spared. No one should be away from your suspicion. Gone are the days where mommies will tell their daughters, go and clean a pastor's house, and tell their sons, go and clean a priest's room. All those nonsense should stop. Because if you do not know, many mommies that sent their children to go and do this cleaning in church, if their children begin to narrate to them what their eyes saw, the mommies would cry. We have to be more careful than our parents were. You have a young girl, you bring in a welder, a plumber, a carpenter into the house, and you say, let me just go to the backyard. I'm doing something at the backyard. Watch what he's doing. What? It doesn't take them 3 minutes. It doesn't take 1 minute for them to strike. You have to be careful. If this mommy knew better, I believe that she would have not left her child on set. God knows where she went to because she doesn't even live in that state. So it would have been more advisable if she was there watching her child. It's beautiful. She's such an amazing mother for helping her child pursue her dreams and passion. It is not easy for her to have come all the way from Lagos with bus to the Asaba. It's a long distance for those that do not know, just for her child to participate in a movie. That is how so many stars started. Regina Daniels, that's how her mother was taking her from set to set. But leaving her there unsupervised in the arms of strangers, oh no, don't do that. Because these demons are everywhere. And there are even people that you can trust. They have amiable personalities. They are very likable. Don't trust your little child with anybody. Everybody is a suspect. Be a hawk. Be vigilant. Trust no one. Lesson teacher, driver, panel beater, pastor, priest, whoever, trust no one. And lastly, as parents, we have to be skilled in behavioral observation. You have to be skilled in observing behavioral changes and patterns of your children. If your child does not like a particular teacher, do not dismiss it with a wave of hand. Call the child with love. Create a warm and firm environment. It could be over ice cream, and ask them, question them why they do not like that teacher. It's better to overassume and be safe than to underassume and be hurt. Don't force your child on someone that the child is running from. In our times, you see a child who don't want to stay with an uncle. You see the mothers of those days say, go and stay with uncle now. You tell you, go and stay with uncle. Uncle will carry the baby, put on his lap. Underneath that lap is a budge. And mommy will be there smiling. What is your female child doing on an uncle's lap? All things being equal, these things should mean nothing. But the world has changed. All things are not equal again. So you cannot be equal. If the lesson teacher arrives and your child is throwing tantrums in an unusual fashion, the child does not want to stay alone with the lesson teacher, investigate the reason. It might mean nothing, but it might mean something. Oh yes, be crazy, be paranoid. The world is an evil place, and the world will never be safe with people like Prince Onyenwere moving around free and loose. May God give us the wisdom to protect our children, and may God keep them far away from animals like this. My eyes would be on this case. I do not know if it is dead finally. If anything comes up on it, be sure that I will bring it to your notice. Talking about handling children and family and all of that, don't also forget that I have a second channel, my personal channel, where I showcase these things Neze Peperempe. So if you're not following me on the second channel, do well to follow me there too. There's so much to learn there also. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. I want this video to be as interactive as possible. I want us to share our thoughts, our experiences, both personal experiences and third-party experiences. Share them in the comment section. Let people read and understand the times that they live in now. Let people learn, both fathers and mothers. Let them learn on the reality of human beings moving around now. It is not everybody that wears shirt and trouser or wears a top and a blouse and a skirt that is human. Some are possessed human beings looking for lives to devour. Share your thoughts, your experiences, and your feelings down in the comment section. If you're new here or see me for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your thoughts and comments down in the comment section, turn on your bell notifications and stay glued because we have so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl, Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.